Aquaman. This movie is directed by James Wan, who also did such films as Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, as well as Furious 7, the last probably one of my least favorite Fast and Furious films. And this movie is supposed to be an origin story. It is not actually. This movie is not actually connected to the DCEU. So basically, Aquaman is the story of Arthur Curry, who is actually a half human, half Atlantean from Queen Atlanta, who has a child with a human, who ends up becoming more. He's kind of like this is the kind of story you've seen before. Basically, not everybody respects Arthur Curry, and he's looked at a little bit of ridicule. So he's kind of out of place with his own people because they look at him that way. He's not an actual Atlantean, and also starring, but we got also starring Nicole Kidman, as well as Patrick Wilson, Dolph Lundgren, as well as this gentleman who I want to mention because he did such a great job with Black Manta. I'm gonna name it. Look at my notes here. Yawa Abdul Mateen II, and I got to give some props to this guy because I think he was kind of going for a Killmonger affair as far as Black Manta is concerned, even though he's kind of his own character. Okay, so King Orm wants to take the Ocean Master wants to take the surface world back for the Atlanteans, so he wants to flood and destroy the surface world because there is actually a scene where you actually see how Atlantis was a highly developed, highly advanced civilization and is destroyed by an earthquake and the story of Atlantis. So, okay, on the surface, Aquaman is a larger than life, colossal, just absolutely huge film. This movie has no time for it. Is very fast paced. It is in your face. This movie is just too big for its own good at times. I gotta say because you could compare this movie. I would compare this movie to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, or something like that from the '80s because it is just very animated at times. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just there are some times where you see a lot of things that that they probably could have left out. Like there's a death of a character. Okay, I want to talk about a lot. The costumes were awesome. The costumes were just amazing, very colorful. This movie can be. It is like just think about. It is 100%, although 110% all at all times. It is just gigantic, and the visuals, especially Atlantis, is just awesome. It is just visually stunning. It just makes your jaw just drop. And this is a movie where it has its flaws, just like any movie before it, because it is a DCU movie, but it doesn't really connect itself to the DCU. There is no unnecessary setup to the next Justice League movie, to Shazam, to any other DCU related film. So I'm going to talk about the positives of this film. That's what I liked about it because it is not. I think they kind of learned from their mistakes they did with Justice League and Batman vs Superman. They decided to just make it its own film and not actually just be, because what happens with that, just setting up a universe, the whole movie, it just takes the subjects, the attention span of a person right off of the movie, and it ends up becoming just a cluttered mess and more of a filler film, if you will. If you guys agree with me on that. So Aquaman, Arthur Curry has to get the trident to stop King Orm from attacking the surface world, and at the same time finding his estranged mother. Nicole Kidman, Dolph Lundgren, as well as Patrick Wilson. These people are just the kind of characters you would expect to see on a movie like this. Nothing that you haven't seen before, but this movie, the acting is it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you know what I mean? Willem Dafoe's on this movie. Willem Dafoe, the guy that that usually dies on every film. He does it really well. And he's kind of like an advisor to Arthur Curry, and he helps him. Arthur Curry kind of confides in him to make a decision sometimes, and he helps him a lot in this movie. So there is, and then Black Manta. Black Manta is it. This movie is not an overstuffed mess, even though there's so much going on. But Black Manta loses, I guess, has a encounter with Arthur Curry, and he ends up killing his father in the process. So that's his character motivation. That is Black Manta's character motivation for him wanting to kill Aquaman, and he gets his hands on Atlantis technology in order to have the power to kill Aquaman, which of course doesn't happen, but that is his reason for being, because this is one of the biggest problems with these types of films, that a lot of characters have little or nothing to do, or the backstories are just not really there. And Black Panther really doesn't have that much of a backstory. But this gentleman, when he's on screen, he's really good. He kind of channels that Michael B. Jordan Killmonger feel to me. That I don't know if you guys felt that. And a lot of people call this film Wakanda in the ocean. I really think this film, it's not trying to copy any film. It's not trying to copy Black Panther. It's not trying to copy Thor or anything like that. You do feel the Saturday morning style uh, of movie making on this movie, but you don't really see anything. They're not really trying to copy anything that hasn't been done before. I mean, even though a lot of stuff you've seen on here has already been done before. So the director James Wan, who's done a lot of, he's done mostly horror movies. It is as far as the DCU is concerned, there is, and I also want to get into, I want to talk about Ariel in this movie, the Little Mermaid. Amber Heard, and she looks so much like the Little Mermaid come to life. It's, I would really wonder why they painted her hair super red like that, because like I said, this movie is very animated. It is a live action film, but it's just very animated to me at times. So, okay, and I want to talk about the negatives of this movie. I could probably name a bunch of them, because it is actually, this movie is not going to win an Academy Award. It's not going to win an Oscar, but it is actually a very entertaining, in-your-face film. But I want to talk about the continuity part, where Mira mentions to Arthur Curry about Steppenwolf, and it's actually the first time that Mira and Arthur Curry Aquaman are meeting in the film. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't really explain anything. It kind of messes it up. It messes up. It is noticeable if you watch the movie very closely, you'll spot that it mentions Steppenwolf, but then Mira has never met Aquaman before. And you guys remember Justice League, right? What do you think? I don't know. That's what I think. Okay, I'm gonna give this movie. Oh my, you're getting it. Not bad movie rating, because this movie does not rely. It has no end credits, because I stayed. I watched the very last letter to see if there was going to be an end credit scene. Absolutely not. There's absolutely no end credit scenes in this movie, and it is a very, very focused and very sharp and very in-your-face film, and it's very Saturday morning style cartoons. If you think about how the movie's executed. All right, and put a like below this video and tell me what you think about this movie. Is this going to save the DCU as far as movies are concerned? All right, subscribe, support this blog, and please put a like below this video, because I've been working really hard, and my new software. You'll notice that there's some stuff on the bottom of my screen when I do my videos now, because I'm in a free trial. for Filmora, and that's just the software I'm using. I'm just kind of building it out because I'm used to using the Final Cut Pro. That's the software I was using when I was in the studio when I was living in California. All right. Once again, subscribe, tell your friends about this blog, and I will see you guys soon.